I only knew that I was different and that different was bad. You're weird, you're a freak, you're a retard, you're a loser, you're ugly. These were the things that I heard on a daily basis.
Go, go, go!
In my research study, every Black family that I've met with has asked a similar question. How do we keep our children safe? How do we fix this situation so that our children won't die?
In a Different Key is a new PBS documentary about the history of autism and the challenges faced by so many families today.
And it also follows the life of the first child ever to be diagnosed with autism, who is now 89 years old. John Donovan is the co-producer, co-director of the documentary, and he joins us live. Good morning.
Hey, Marcus and Robin, how are you?
Good.
Great. So, yes, when we think about autism, I think when we see so many of the news stories, it's about what's happening today. But what's interesting here is you're really going into the history of this, which I think a lot of us probably don't know about. Why did you think that was important to do?
We wanted to show people what the past is, to show how far we've come. And that's a long way, but also how far we have to go. So 50, 60 years ago, people who had a diagnosis of autism were routinely put into institutions. And quite remarkably, autistic children did not have the right to a public education. Schools could just say no, and they routinely did. So that's over, thanks to parents who got up and fought for their kids. Now we're in a different time when people are much more aware of autism, and autistic people are now, there's real attempts to include and integrate autistic people into society along with everyone else, but they still face a lot of challenges. And Karen Zucker and I made the film to show people who don't know a lot about autism that actually they are connected to this story, that the degree to which they are willing to be accepting and to befriend an autistic person, to support them, to be good neighbors, good workmates, classmates, makes a huge difference on whether people on the spectrum get to belong. And there are a lot of people on the spectrum these days.
Yeah, I think the numbers you had were 1 out of 44 people in the United States or children are diagnosed with this now. But is it, you know, we keep hearing stories, why is this more prevalent now? Why is autism something that's more current? Is it just that it was misdiagnosed all those years ago?
The honest answer is we really can't answer that question for sure. But yes, misdiagnosis from years ago is definitely part of it. The autism definition became a lot broader than 30 years ago. So many more people would qualify for the diagnosis. Minority children had a much more difficult time getting diagnosed. And today, kind of the issue that we highlight in the film, one of many issues we highlight in the film, is that while there is more recognition of autism today, there are TV shows about autistic characters. It's being portrayed these days in a way that kind of leaves out, it sort of celebrates people who are like really like geniuses, like the Good Doctor, but who have social challenges. But it's leaving out people who have much more severe challenges. They're not getting sitcoms made about them or dramas made about them. People who can't speak with words easily and have a great deal of time being understood, who can't really navigate society without a lot of help. And we in the film wanted to bring attention to their situation as well, and to the situation of the families that are supporting them.
Yeah, and just going back to the past here for a second, you spoke with the first person officially diagnosed with autism, 89 years old today. What was that like?
So the really beautiful thing about his life and his story, his name is Donald Triplett. He's going to turn 90 next year, and he lives in a little town in Mississippi. His town in Mississippi, during decades when people with autism were being treated terribly, his town, not even knowing he had that diagnosis, were wonderful to him. They supported him and included him, and they really, really set an example for everyone else about how to be inclusive, supporting, accepting. They don't treat Donald like an other. They don't treat him with pity or a mascot. They think he's their friend, and he is their friend. He's like a big guy in town, and everybody loves him.
That's great.
And do you focus on, I know the person who you co-wrote this book with, her son was the reason this kind of all started, right? He's 28 years old now. And the resources for people over the age of 21 when they age out of the system is really tough, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's one thing you mentioned, the change. Before, there was nothing to support kids. Now kids are supported under the law through education through the age of 21. That's when the school systems cover them. After that, there is nothing. In most places, it's called falling off the cliff. And those individuals need all sorts of support with things like jobs and with housing and with just getting around and with friendship and with inclusion and continuing education and continuing therapy. But they don't have any of that there. So that's kind of chapter 2 that needs to be written in what we think of as the civil rights movement for autistic people. That chapter has yet to be written.
Do you have any advice for parents, a parent who may have just gotten this news about, their child as they're starting this journey?
Yeah, there's a lot of help that there didn't used to be. There are organizations to reach out to. Never, 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 never stop fighting for your kid. You've got the law on your side, and that didn't used to be true. Reach out to other people who have been through the experience ahead of you. And of course, obviously, I think goes without saying because I don't think it's necessary, but love your kid. Just love and love and love your kid. I don't want to say it's so simple as the rest will follow. I want to say that that's a fantastic starting point.
All right, John Donovan, thank you so much for joining us. You can check out In a Different Key, themovie.com. You can also listen to the podcast, Autism's First Child, and follow John on Twitter. Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.